Now let's continue on to Flash and animate this cool thing. Gonna just move over and bring in these components. Let's go ahead and name this background. And once again, I really can't stress enough the importance of naming your layers, especially when you're working on something that's going to have a lot of components to it. All right, now that we have this background, let's go ahead and add a couple of keyframes here. And don't forget, we're just pressing F6. So in frame 10, I'm just going to move this over just a little bit. In frame 20, we're going to move it over. And frame 30, we're going to move it up a little tiny bit, because we want to give it that liquid kind of thing going on. So we're going to move this down just a tad. And now let's go ahead and click on the background layer name and insert a motion tween. And let's preview this and see what we have. Okay, so we have this liquidy motion. Although I wish it would go a little slower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just expand some of this stuff out here. I'm going to click on this last keyframe and drag it to frame 65 or so. And I'm going to keep doing that until I can slow this down. I think that moved a little too quickly, and I'm trying to go for a more subtle watery effect. Let's try this. Alright, that's a little bit better. But it's really going to shine when we add the twirls that we created in Photoshop on top of that. So now let's go to our File Import menu. Let's bring this to the library. Let's go ahead and bring in Water 01, the streaks, the whole thing. So I'm going to click on the first part, the streaks, hold the Shift key down and grab Water 05. And we're going to bring all these to a library. And as you see here, I accidentally tried to bring in the PSD. Just ignore it or bring it in as a QuickTime movie. We're not going to use it anyway. Now, I'm going to just collapse it just a little bit here. And I'm going to create some layers. What I want to do is I want to bring the streaks in on more than one layer. So what I'm going to do is call this one Streaks 1. Just bring this to the stage here. And as you see, it looks great already. I mean, look at that. Automatically, we're underwater. And what I want to do with this is I want to turn this into a symbol. So we're going to go to Modify, Convert to Symbol. Let's call it Streaks 1, because we have two instances of the streaks that we're going to use. So we're going to call this Streaks 1. And we're going to just give us a little bit of a transparency here. And the reason we want a symbol is because we're going to animate it. See that? We're going to animate it and have it do this kind of thing. So we're going to start it off with like 33%. And let's go to frame 15 or so, 15, 16. Let's go ahead and insert a keyframe. And now let's click on the image again. Let's go ahead and increase the alpha to about 66. And we're going to go to frame 40 or so, press F6 and click on the image once again, and we're going to go ahead and decrease it again like that. And then we're going to insert our favorite thing in the world, the motion tween. Now let's go ahead and do a quick preview. See, I told you this was going to come up together. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to create another layer called the Streaks 2. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring our streak symbol, which is right here, onto the stage. And let's go and just move this down a little bit here. Let me lock my Streaks 1. I'm trying to grab Streaks 2. And we're going to also use our free transform tool. We're going to flip this so it's the other way. Okay. And let's do the same thing. We're going to create some animations here, but we want to stagger them. So here on frame 1, we might want to make this completely invisible. So 0. Let's go to frame 25, insert a keyframe, and let's bump this up again. So click on the image, and let's just crank that up just a little bit like that. We don't want to overpower the other streak. And now we're going to go to frame 64, insert a keyframe, and we're going to max that out just a little bit like that. Now let's go ahead and insert our motion tweens. And let's go to the beginning. Now we're going to lock this layer. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually bring in our water streak animation. So let's go one at a time and bring in number 1. And what we want to do is we want to actually create a movie clip out of this. So let's go ahead and actually delete this layer. I want to do something different. I'm going to go to Insert, new symbol, and we're going to call this water. And what we're going to do is we're going to animate this here instead of in the main timeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab water 01 and drag it onto the stage here. I'm going to zoom out just a bit. And we're going to use our rulers so we can make sure we have these guys locked down in place. Although it really doesn't matter because we're going to swap symbols anyway. So let's go to F6 on frame 2. Click on our picture here, and we're going to swap this out for water 02. Press F6 again. Click on the picture and swap it for water 03. F6 on the keyboard. Click on the picture and swap it out for water 04. And F6 once more. And click on the picture and swap it for water 05. Now let's see what we have here. See that? So we're going to just go forwards and backwards with this to create our cool animation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually just copy all these frames. We're going to go to Edit, and we're going to select all. Or actually, we can click here, and now we're going to go to Edit, Timeline, Copy Frames. Now we're going to click on frame 6, Edit, Timeline, Paste Frames. And now what I want to do is I want to select these frames here, like so. And I want to go to Modify, Timeline, Reverse Frames, so they play backwards. So we get this. Alright. If you want to keep going, that's cool. But now what we're going to do is we're going to just accept this and go back to scene 1 and drag our cool symbol, and we'll just preview it very quickly, onto the stage, onto our water layer. And we're going to just drag that right on the stage like this. And since it is a symbol, let's go ahead and fade it out real nice. So it's like something like this. And let's see what it looks like. And now you have the semblance of water